Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about morning time. I first learned about morning time in this book, Teaching from Rest by Sarah Mackenzie. Her blog, Read Aloud Revival. You can find out lots more about morning time. And then I bought Cindy Rowland's A Handbook to Morning Time, which really is very practical and helped me flesh out exactly what I wanted to do. And she has lots of lists of poems that are good to memorize for younger ages or older ones, hymns that they memorized, Bible memory work that they memorized. So morning time is a time in the morning where you gather together. It doesn't have to be in the morning. A time where you gather together with your children and you're focusing on doing things that wouldn't fit into maybe the more normal aspects of your school day. So like it's not math, phonics, whatever, science. It's I'll tell you what we do in our morning time. So this is our morning time schedule. I don't know if you'll be able to read it, but so we start by doing Squilt, which is music appreciation. You can check it out online. I really like it. We listen to a short piece of music every morning on a theme of the month. So this month's theme is women composers. Before was jazz. Next month is ballet. Then we sing a new hymn, the same hymn for the month we sing. This month we're doing When I Survey the Wondrous Cross, and I write the hymns as we do them in the hymn book, so I have my own sort of easy to find table of contents. And then I recite the poem of the month. So I found amazingly, she said this and it happened. I read the poem every day for a month, and often by 2 weeks they have it memorized, and that's so fun. And then they love to do it with me, or I'll let one of them do it. And then I'll pick one child to recite a poem that they've memorized in the past. We then pray for the persecuted church, or not necessarily the persecuted church, pray for the church around the world. So I use Intercede International's prayer calendar. If you just subscribe to their newsletter, I think you get one in the mail. It covers 2 months, and every day is just a short thing to pray for a mission area or a mission organization somewhere around the world. I have loved doing that. Obviously, I think it is so valuable that we pray for our brothers and sisters around the world, and this just has given me such a perspective, and hopefully my children too, on how God is working all around the world. Then I read from the Book of Virtues by William Bennett. It's a big, thick collection of just short poems, stories, speeches, and in themed chapters. So friendship, responsibility, compassion. Right now we're in work, and I look forward to those. So do the kids. We then are doing something called Polite Moments, or previously we've done Rod and Staff's Manners, which focuses on basic sort of manners. Never interrupt, always stand to meet company, go out of your way to find ways to help others. Just trying to reinforce those basic ways to show love to one another. And we also took some time this past year, my husband and I, to put together sort of a family motto. So that's sort of the things we want to help our children know are important for how we behave in our family and how we behave to others. So in our family, we show the love of Christ by pointing each other to Jesus, honoring one another, laughing together, listening attentively. These are fleshed out, and so I'll often read it and then ask a child to describe what one of those things mean, or how we do one of those things. Then after that, we sing a hymn that we've memorized in the past, and that's sort of like the lots of little pieces. And then we read from whatever chapter book we're reading. So we just are reading Anne of Green Gables right now, which I'm loving, and we just finished Number the Stars, which was very good. And then after that, I read from our science textbook also, because that sort of fit into the read it together time. And that whole time takes about an hour. And it is one of my very favorite times of the day, and I highly recommend it if it's something that you think you'd be interested in. I'm happy to tell you about it. Now I am also going to very briefly tell you about the spelling, reading, writing curriculum we do, which is called Spell to Write and Read. You buy these 2 books. This one has like the guide and this one has the spelling lists. And then you buy each child a learning log. From my understanding, it's a very cost-effective way to school because you just use these 2 books all the way through. It's pretty intensive in terms of what you have to plan and like getting to know the structure of the thing, or how it works, but then it's just the same thing over and over. So it runs very easily once you get going. I love it so much. I do not know how exactly to tell you about how I love it. So I'm this is my first time doing this. Okay, so basically the children memorize the phonograms, like the single letter ones, and then they memorize slowly as you go these double letter ones. Like this is A that you may not use at the end of English words. A that you may use at the end of English words. Ch, k, sh. So all the sounds that the combination makes. J, 3-letter J. And then they also, as you're going through, it's very heavy on the spelling rules. So has these cards that are sort of supposed to remind them of the rules. So Q always needs a U. U is not a vowel here. This one, it says them on the back. I and Y usually say I at the end of a syllable, or usually say I, but may say I. So this curriculum has less, in my understanding, than other curriculums sight words. You're really learning a lot of rules, so you really understand how the English language works. The idea is that they learn to spell words first, and then they get to reading, if you're starting as I was with like non-readers. So it starts off, every lesson is just spelling words. So we do 10 a week, but you would do 20 a week if you had an older child or faster learner. So like the first word is top. So I say to the child, top, start from the top and count the words. Top. Then they know it's 3 letters and each sound makes 1 letter. So by that point, they know the letters t, op, and they should be able to write. We're doing cursive. T, op. They're supposed to say it as they write it. So they didn't learn to read top, but they know how to spell it. Then we do the rest of the list. First list, but, and, cat, red, etc. And so they go on and on. So we've been doing this since September, and only like now in the lesson structure do you officially have them start reading books. Now, by now my children are reading. They're very, not like fluently, but they're interested in reading. They're trying to read things here and there, but that's not like part of the curriculum. This video is coming on 10 minutes, so I think I will stop and just say, if you're looking for like reading, spelling, writing curriculum, ask me about it. I'd be happy to tell you about it. We combined it with cursive first, so I just taught them to write cursive from the beginning, which I'm really happy I did. I love that it does spelling, reading, writing all in one. One of my favorite parts is the sentences that go along with the spelling words. Recently, I've had this one written up on the wall. The sentence was, I do not pray for a lighter load, but for a stronger back. So may that be what we all get through this. And I look forward to when we can all be together again and talking about curriculum. But yeah, hope that was helpful.